Yo guys, how we doing, what is good? Welcome back to The Contentment. This is a place where we pull together ideas from the world's creatives to help level up your mind, body and spirit, to help you and I get every last drop from life. Today is Note to Self 27. Again, I make these letters for me to reflect back on my journey to hopefully adjust my course if I'm ever lost or discouraged. Last night I watched The Alpinist, or The Alpinist, by, actually irrelevant who it's by. This movie is about Marc-André Leclerc, who is a free solo rock climber who unfortunately passed away in 2018, but he has a Netflix documentary about him and his life, and it's just profoundly inspiring, and for me just makes me contemplate life, what I'm doing, what I want to do, the fact that I'm even here, just it, for whatever reason, just gives me such intense gratitude for my life. And I'm stoked that it's coincided with this week's letter, because we're actually here, we're actually on earth right now having our experience, and this is actually happening. I know this is just some stupid shit, but we just need to stop and realize what's happening, and stop being so carried away running to some false destination, when in fact the journey is the only thing that matters anyway. There will never be an end position, there will only be the journey. And this documentary for me was a great reminder of that. And why this was so profound to me is Mark's approach and mindset towards climbing. It was never, I'm going to do this to become the best climber. It was never, I'm going to get the record for climbing the biggest mountain. It's never any accolade or any status or any reason other than the fact that he just fucking loved climbing. And the only time that he felt truly at peace in the world is when he was climbing. He didn't do it for any other external validation, no external reason other than just climbing. He did the most insane climbs on the planet that have ever been completed, pretty much, and he did it just because he loves it. He didn't do it to show the world. For example, one of the climbs that he did, he went back and did it a second time, and he didn't tell the film crew he did it the first time because he wanted to do it for himself. And only once he'd completed it and had the actual experience of doing it by himself did he then suggest that they can come and film it. I mean, fuck, I'm inspired by that. Just who cares about the achievements and accolades? It's good to aim and do shit, yes, but no one fucking cares anyway. And you guys have probably heard of Alex Honnold. He's been on the Joe Rogan Experience, but also Alex had this to say about Mark's whole climbing adventures. Leclerc's soloing wasn't about the athletic activity. It wasn't about sport. It was about a spiritual commitment to adventure. A spiritual commitment to adventure. He just purely did it for adventure's sake, to make his journey and his passage through life that much more meaningful. He just did it for the sake of experience, for the sake of adventure, for the sake of the journey. And fuck this just gives me goosebumps, because that is, in my opinion, spiritual enlightenment. That's it. That's it. Just doing it for the sake of it because it feels good. Just doing it and experiencing it and having that journey, having that adventure just because of that, for no other reason, just because life is a journey. And so fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And to unpack it a little bit, he climbed to get away from all of the bullshit that we have set up in society, all of the consumerism and all of the things that we think we need to do, all of the bullshit and the chasing status and all of the stupid shit that really means nothing at the end of the day. And he just escaped all of that and did what he loved. And I find that is just ridiculously inspiring. He did what he wanted to do without compromise. He just did exactly what he wanted to do. Didn't conform to anyone else's idea. He didn't do things for acceptance of others and all of these things that we all constantly do, myself included. He just did what he wanted to do because he loved it. And actually, in his words, when you're in the mountains with a mission, it's like all of the superficialities of life just sort of evaporate, and you can often find yourself in a deeper state of mind, and that can stick with you for a while after the big climb. You appreciate everything so much that you take for granted most of the time. Doing something so extreme that puts your life at risk, which is half the reason that climbers do it, no doubt, where you might actually die. So you might actually die. So if you live, then how exciting is that? All of a sudden you're grateful to be alive and blah 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 blah, because you've had these basically near-death experiences, and so many like spiritual teachers and shit always talk about this sort of thing, and you can voluntarily do it through climbing. It's pretty fucking outrageous, but I find it extremely inspiring because, man, there was a scene where he was basically going up to do the hardest climb that he's ever done, and the guy was like, oh, what do you eat the night before? Like, what's your nutrition like? Are you on point? And he was like, well, you never know if you're coming back from the climb, so the night before I always eat the foods I love the most. So he's having like a little cake and like he's just fully like eating all of his favorite foods the night before because he might fucking die. Come on, imagine if we could all live with that, like that sense when we're eating something, or we actually buy our favorite food and we eat it with like the holy fuck, like, rather than just having it for the sake of it. It's like, this might be my last time. And this reminds me of some Stoic meditations and Stoic practices. The Stoic last time meditation, where it's like, what if this is truly my last time? Right now, what if this is the last video I ever make? I might die. You watching might die. What are we going to do? We're just going to pretend that that's not the case and carry on and be like, oh yeah, well, it's not now, it's all good. Imagine if we could take that mindset, eating the cake, making the podcast, talking to you, feeling the extremes of life, because it truly might be the last time. It genuinely might be. And I just think that whole process that he shared is just still blows my mind. Just, yeah, I eat my favorite foods the night before because, I'm going climbing. It's fucking crazy. And this is something that I sort of talk about all the time, but, as much of his whole story and Mark's life in general was fascinating, and I could talk about for a very long time, the thing that I really, really like to point out to myself is, like, do you really need to wait for a loved one to die before you start actually fucking going all in your life? Do you really need to get sick to the point of, holy fuck, I might actually die, to then change your life? Do you really need all of the bad shit to happen before you truly make a change? And in my experience, the answer to that is yes, because I only changed my life when things got so bad. But that's why I'm talking about it, because you can draw off inspiration and wisdom from those that have been to, I guess, the other side or wherever. For example, contextually, Mark and his whole story, he's like fully aware that he might die, and so he treats his life with that precious sense, that precious presence that comes from the contemplation of death. And I just think that's so special. Nothing's guaranteed. The only guarantee is that we will all die. And yeah, the journey is all we truly have. Eat the fucking cake. If you're gonna smoke a cigarette, smoke the fucking cigarette. Don't go, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Enjoy it. Make the most of it, whatever the cigarette is. And at the end of the day, in my opinion, the journey of life is the purpose. The purpose of life is the journey itself. And Mark had a quote very similar to this, and that was, it's kind of funny. The actual achievement doesn't really change your life like you think it might, but what you're left with is the journey that got you to that point. The journey that got you to that point. That's it. Like your new car, your business that once you do $1 million in revenue, your girlfriend that you want to get, your clothing, your whatever thing that you're chasing and running towards because you think it's going to be the savior to your suffering. The journey itself is it. This is coming from a person who's achieved the hardest possible climbs basically on the planet, and once he's achieved it, he's realized that it doesn't actually matter. The journey is all that matters. The preparation, the journey, the adventure itself, the experience itself. And yeah, Mark is no longer with us, and he passed away climbing with a climbing partner that he had, and I believe the guy's name was Ryan. But anyway, they're on the side of a cliff cemented in ice, and you know, no one's time is promised. The only thing I can truthfully tell you, the only thing I actually do know, is that you're going to die, I'm going to die. So should we continue to wait for the right time to start the new thing, to do the next thing, to learn that thing we've always wanted to learn, to tell my mum and dad I love them, to whatever it might be? Should we really wait until, well, I just need to get my things in order, I just need to do these few things and then eventually I'll be able to, I just need to, once I stack enough money, then I'm going to be able to, oh no, once I just need to have another few months of doing these things before I can do those things? Is that really the case? Or can we tap into the expansive, pervasive now that is all that we ever have? The journey itself, can we do it now? Regardless of all the fear that we feel, regardless of all of the social conditioning that your parents, my parents, society as a whole has put on us. I know these are all fun buzzwords and look at me go, but it's also true. There is no right or wrong way to live a life. You can live in a tent and climb mountains for fuck's sake, just like Mark, and be happier than arguably everyone else in our civilization. So what are you called to do? What is your adventure? What do you want to do with your life? What, at the end of your life, will you reflect back on and be like, fuck yeah, I actually did it? For me, I'm so scared of getting to the point in my life where, on my deathbed, I look back and go, if only I went all in, if only I did it. And yeah, I'm very grateful to be in a position now where I'm slowly walking the path that I know that I can. And it's hard as fuck because my own fears, limitations, and past is all still here just as hard, and each day is another opportunity to keep showing up and be the version of me that does all of these things with the fear that comes with it, and running into battle, so to speak, even though I'm scared, even though I can't be fucked, even though I would rather just disappear, just doing it anyway, and building the life, and doing the things that you believe you should, respecting your body, doing the things, whatever your things may be. I fucking encourage you to do them, because your life is not promised. You will die, and you will regret, or you will be stoked as fuck, and you get to choose with your actions every single day that you wake up. You get to choose to be tired and succumb to your little inner bitch, or you get to choose to push through even though you cannot be fucked. You get to choose. Mr. Serious checking in, how you doing? Yeah, that's it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I have a hoodie and a hat on. The hat is because I'm yet to have a shower and I've been fucking around all morning doing movement and other things. So this is to get the hair in check, and then a hoodie and everything as well because it's fucking cold. here in Auckland. It's getting wintry. The last few days have definitely felt like winter. It's been chilly as fuck. Anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope that you can understand that life is good. You just have to make it good. Everything is a skill. You get to practice the skill of loving your life, and you get to do that every day. And the way in which you do that is with your daily actions. And that's it. The journey is the purpose. I love you guys. I appreciate you tuning in. I really hope that this video sparked a little something in you. It sparked a little something in me. And let's get every last drop from our life. And let's continue to love each other, show up for ourselves, and just fucking get after it. And I'll leave you with this, my favorite quote of all time. Swag.